Okay, we're going to get right into it. This is an unboxing video, and this time this is a Timex Q GMT. As you can tell from the title of the video, and probably a whatever the images of the I put up as the picture of the video, anyways. So we'll get right into it. Yeah, I bought this from the Timex website. I think there was a sale going on, and yeah, it's a good looking piece. And I've been on kind of a hunt for a GMT watch. Well, that's the weird thing is I have no use for GMT. I travel way less than I used to, and I don't need to keep track of another time zone. I just like the way they look. Specifically, I really like the the Rolex GMT Master, Pepsi bezel one. Even before I knew about that particular watch, and yeah, it's kind of weird. How can you not know about that watch? Well, I wasn't always into some watches that I am interested in now, or at least have gained some knowledge of over the past couple years. But I was always drawn to that red and blue kind of colorway, especially on the bezel for some reason. And I earlier collecting life, I went through a lot of those too, primarily in dive watches. I might have had possibly one GMT at one point, but it was a crap watch, and I probably returned it. It looked kind of cool, but yeah. Anyways, and if you follow my channel and you just look through the history on this or any of the groups that you might see me on or my Instagram, you know that I've been through a number of these Pepsi GMT Master kind of general style watches. I've had let's see, a Glycine Combat Sub. I've had several Steinhardts. What else? I've had a Squally for a bit, and I want to say there's something else. I've tried also like a Batman style, which is my next favorite colorway, the black and blue. But really, the red and blue really does it for me. It's just I like those type of contrasting colors. Anyways, let's remove this and get into it a bit here. And almost all of them have been automatics, and this is probably, if I didn't have one like a long time ago somehow, this is my first Quartz GMT. Well, that's not true. I have had some GMTs that were Quartz, but not quite in this style. Let's say and they may not have been necessarily a GMT watch per se, but they had 24 hours on it. I don't know. Anyways, I've been through a lot of watches, and yeah, I finally came around to picking this guy up. Here, bump the light so we can see it better. And yeah, I mean, there's so many out there. I mean, I think, doesn't Baltic make one? If not, I know. What's that one? It's off the tip of my head. They're US based micro brand. It's off the tip of my tongue. But yeah, they do vintage style, and they have the acrylic glass too, and they're like a husband and wife micro brand. Dang, I can't remember the name of it. They made the Neptune. Is there something called the Gemini? Quite a number of other ones, and yeah, but for some reason I just wanted to always stick with a kind of a Rolex looking one. It's just the look. It's kind of a guilty pleasure, I guess, and it shouldn't be, because you're just gonna like what you're gonna like, and who cares what other people think. But you can't help but think that this is that kind of iconic style, similar to a Submariner, that's been copied many times, right? Or at least homaged many times. It gets a bit, it can get pretty tiresome, admittedly. But hey, it's something that I know I've always gravitated towards, so whatever. Um, let's get a closer look at this. And I went for this because I've been through so many, and I've always sold them, and through all that, definitely, you know, there's definitely been more loss than gain when in doing that many times. But you have to experience it to know what I like and don't like, and gently, hopefully, gradually steer myself towards maybe the one that will hold. Anyways, I figured with the how much these can cost, and I believe with the sale, I got this for under 200. It was kind of a no-brainer. It's from the reviews I've read. This is like maybe one of the best versions of the Timex Q. They have a nice applied markers. They've gone away from a completely flat dial, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I do like this. Some say it's a deep inky black, but I think it's actually more of there's a bit of it's not completely gloss deep, black. There's a bit of, to my eyes, it seems like maybe it's got a bit of slight semi-gloss to it. So it's like not quite 100% gloss, but glossy enough. Looks good, looks deep. What else? I don't mind that it has, I'm glad it's bi-directional. GMT bezel, 24 hours. It should be. That it's friction, there's no clicks. No, that doesn't bother me. It's very old school like this too, because I think the original, the original GMT Masters, when they first came out, weren't clicking ones either. And they didn't even have like the true or traveler's GMT function back then either. I believe the GMT hand was, I don't even think it was necessarily adjustable. It was a slave to the hour minutes, to the rest of the hands, and you just you have quick set date, but I think you can just rotate, and you basically adjust your time zone by the bezel. Like those very early Rolex GMT Master examples, I don't know the reference off my head. I believe it's a 4-digit, but other than that, think of some call it the Pussy Galore. Yes, from James Bond. I believe it's from Goldfinger. And there's a character named Pussy Galore, and she's like a pilot, and of this woman pilot team that works for Goldfinger, the villain in that movie. And she's been seen wearing one of the really old, maybe basically the first examples of the GMT Master with the Bakelite bezel, no crown guards. It's got the, classic, more vintage dial, definitely no applied markers. The GMT hand is particularly small too. It really extends out to the edge. So a number of things different about it, but that one's so good looking. And I tried to copy that look before with a version of a 39mm Steinhardt vintage GMT, like premium. I forget, that's what they called it. Had no crown guards. They tried to mimic the look of like an aged Bakelite bezel, but it was ceramic. So not quite there, but sort of the color, how it darkens and dulls. But I found that I didn't like that look. I like something like this with the aluminum bezel, and so it's got that sheen and pop to it. It just can't be mimicked by ceramics, in my opinion. And I prefer this look too. But I was saying that, yeah, that Steinhardt didn't quite do it. And plus the way they did the faux Tina on the dial. I don't mind faux Tina, but it looked too artificial. Like everything was very even in that tone. Even the print and loom shouldn't be the same tone of patina. Like one should be a little slightly more white or darker, depending on which one you're talking about, than the other. Or they shouldn't the print shouldn't be patina the same as the loom. So that didn't fly for me, and I did sell it for those number of reasons. But anyways, I always like this classic style bezel. one of the first Steinhardts I got, another, just another one. But the first one that I got when I was getting back into this hobby was larger 42. They didn't have the 39 back then, but it had this kind of style bezel, and it was like a fume silver dial, and like the old Rolex looked really nice, really. But it did seem a bit large for that style at 42, and I really wish they had shrank it down. And technically they did, but they still kept the ceramic bezel on the 39, and it didn't look right. Anyways, going back to this watch, I just love this aluminum bezel insert. It's just got the right pop and shine to it. I really like that. And I also like this old style of numbers. I don't really like the new modern Rolex GMT Master 2s, mainly because of the bezel. I find those numbers on them way too bold. They just look too big in my opinion. I don't know, I guess it makes it sportier, but I prefer this. It's much more smaller and subdued and simplified and clean. I don't know, it just doesn't pop and demand so much attention on the bezel, I would say, because how bold those numerals are on the modern ceramic GMT Master 2s. And again, the tone of that blue and red in ceramic is just, I mean, it has a nice pop, but it just doesn't have the same type of, I guess, luster or something that aluminum bezel has. This is a Traveler's, no, sorry, Office GMT. So yeah, you can't jump hour, but that's fine because I don't, it's a cool feature, but I really don't need it. And again, I don't really travel that much these days, so I don't find the need to really reset the the main local hand to a new time zone by jumping it. Yeah, so that's not a big deal to me. Just glad there's no magnifier. This is acrylic, so it will scratch, but I have poly watch, and I hear it's basically pretty easy to buff out. Just something I gotta watch for. I wonder if these watches. This is by no means a new watch. This has been out for, I feel like, at least 2 years by now. This is mid-November 2024. I'm pretty sure when I looked up the videos recently when these came out, it was dated approximately, I'm pretty sure it's about 2 years ago. If not, it's somewhere just under that, but it's definitely over a year. And so not new, but I sometimes like revisiting or just visiting an older model that has that came out some time ago, but for whatever reason I just didn't go for it, or maybe it always did hold my interest, but I never really delved into it. So until later, I like to sometimes like the hype die down, although sometimes I give into the hype as well, admittedly. But this one, yeah, I wasn't like blown away, but I did recognize it was a good looking model. But yeah, I just decided what the heck for the price. And there's a thing for they do this Q case and the way that the bracelet, that makes it different, and unlike the GMT Master, so it's not a complete copy. It's Quartz. It's also not a true GMT, or at least not in terms of, you're talking about the GMT Master 2. Yeah, and I have to say, I did actually unbox this a couple of days ago, but I've been so damn tired. This is actually my third or fourth take trying to do this video, because I was just been worked to the bone for at least 12 hours straight, and then go home late, and I'm just too tired. I wasn't even coherent when I was trying to do my last video. I was just kind of rambling on more than I usually do. But anyways, yeah, when I saw this, I said, okay, it looks good. When I picked it up, I said, whoa, this feels actually much more substantial than I imagined it would, given the price point, and being that this is they never actually made this model back in the past, but the basis of the Timex Q seems like, especially when people talk about the original bracelet that the regular three-hander had, I expect it to be a bit more jangly and just lighter feeling, but okay. But this is definitely much more weightier and substantial, and I believe it's because partially it's because of the solid links that it has, which the other ones, I believe, the original Timex Q were folded, or at least hollow. Sign class, I guess here, very small, keeps it flowing, but of course there will be a slight bit of a lack of micro adjust, but I think I'm usually able to dial in the size pretty well, so I'm not too worried about that. And I have to say, even though if this is a press class, it does, we got some brushing. Usually these things are left high polished, which I think it cheapens the look a little bit more when they don't bother to, when they leave it high polished sometimes. And I do like the fact that this is brushed, and something about this feels just a little bit nicer than your typical, I guess, stamped, fold out portion of the class like this. I don't know, maybe I'm imagining things, but it just looks and feels a little bit better than other ones I've seen. And that's it. And you know what? I was looking at this the other day, the battery hatch right here, and I don't remember it looking exactly like this, because you see how they have these two notches there. Don't you need to get a special tool to be able to open that then? Because I thought before it was just like a slot, cut out, a groove or something that went straight across the center somewhere, where you can put the coin and just in and twist and turn it. But I don't think you can do that with this now, because obviously it doesn't have that. So that, I feel like that's a different change right there. I got to figure out how this is, what kind of tool are you supposed to use to open this thing. This looks like a little mini case back opener, but we'll see. And sign crown, high polish, most everywhere except for right here. It's got horizontal brushing. Would have been nice if they had added more brushing on the sides as well, and left like maybe at the top, or maybe brushed it across the top as well. But I don't mind. It looks good. And I'll show it to you really quickly on wrist. I'm not gonna, obviously I don't have it sized yet. Right now I have on the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer Titanium solar graph, so solar powered, cool watch. This has been great. Been so busy. Whenever I traveled from 2 homes, and when I get back to this other home, when I start my work week, usually I'm wearing a different watch, and so if I want to get into, I come home like in the middle of the night, and I try to get a few hours sleep before I got to get up in the morning. And so I usually want to switch watches from what I was wearing on the weekend, and this is usually the grab and go, because it's ready to go. It's always accurate, and also knowing how busy my start of my weeks are, this is a great watch for those days and any other days that are really particularly hectic and fast paced, and I just don't need to think too much about what's on wrist and worry about it. This is lightweight, it's thin. Actually, I can back up slightly, and yeah, I just really like the way this looks. And yeah, it is pricey for what it is, but whatever. Sometimes there's just a certain cost that go with getting a particular model or look of, particular design. And this is specifically the way everything that we've done it is currently, and it has been for a while, only you can get it in the solar quartz and titanium. But anyways, it has a great quick adjust as well. All you need to do is pull it out like that. See, this extension, just enough. I think it's about 5 millimeters or so. This one position, but that's all I need. I don't have to fuss with going back and forth, because sometimes you just might miss the mark and you gotta take it off and readjust it again. This one, just pop it off, and it has just enough to make it just a little bit more comfortable, and then it's quick to put right back in, and it can really be done all in a one-handed action. Just like undo this and then hold it a certain way and just pull it like that, and then it comes out. and you're ready to go. And then, you know, put it back on. It's looser, but then when you feel it's too loose and you could tighten it again, you basically could do it one-handed, but I probably wouldn't. Pulling it open is easier. Trying to close it, you really make sure you fold this piece in like so. Like that. See how that is? And then I will snap into that slot there for that pin that holds the extension down. Anyways, enough about that. We'll just check this out on my 7-inch wrist. They do have a Batman version of this too, which looks pretty good. And I believe you can only still, I don't think they've offered it at the actual Timex site or any other place, but you have to go to, I believe it's Uncrate. Is it Crate? I think it's uncrate.com, and they have it there. So at least early on when it came out, I'm sure it was very popular. It kept getting sold out, but it's not limited edition as far as I'm aware of. So yeah, I checked the website recently and they do have it in stock too, but I still prefer the look of the Pepsi bezel myself. And yeah, this should work really nice when I can get this size down. And this is 38 millimeters, which is great for basically the integrated bracelet look, which this basically is. And because they usually widen out enough here so that they can go into the bracelet. So the bracelet usually will have a smaller actual spring bar or lug with it, but will quickly expand out to meet the case and have a better flow from one to the other, right? I think the string is in the way, that's why. I'll lock it down later, but that's the way it looks. So yeah, integrated bracelet watches were at least 2 to 3 millimeters larger than I think the stated dimensions. So I can definitely, I've realized over trying a few things in that one Citizen Ciosa recently, that's in 40 millimeters. Yeah, that's still too big. I think at least has to be 38, even a 37, maybe even a 36, which would be like the smaller PRX territory. But 38 works, and I think it fills it out just right. And yeah, I like the fact, I don't mind the Swiss movement. It's a Ronda, and should be reliable, fairly robust. Yeah, always ready to go. And this is my unboxing and initial impressions and thoughts about this watch. Yeah, I think for the price and just the look of it, this would be a keeper. And I did get like a rubber strap to go with it. Let me see if I can just show you really quickly, because I knew that I wanted to change up the look, although it'll probably reside on the bracelet mostly, primarily. Having other strap options would be great. And I think this style, this is actually for a replacement band. It's not the official one from Casio, but pretty darn near close, and the quality seems pretty nice. It's for like the F91W. That's basically what their strap looks like, but I figure they do have 18 and it does widen to, they say 21, which could potentially work for, like, say, my Citizen. It's about 18, and then this widens to, it is 21. Thought maybe possibly they would have done 22, but that's okay. And so you can imagine if this was on here, it'll flow pretty well from one to the other. It's a little bit shorter, but I don't know, it's not as wide of the case, but at least it's still something. And I like the way this part of it is right in here. That looks kind of neat to me. It's not just a plain black rubber strap or something with a potentially unnecessary texturing. I don't know. I wanted something a little bit cleaner like that. And I think it's upside down, but you get the general idea. I think that'll look cool for like giving it more summery sport vibe. A guy and I got the idea from another YouTuber. His name, I don't know his actual name, but his channel is the Uptick Watch Reviews. He's got some really nice watches, and he has a new Black Bay 58 GMT, you know, the one with the Coke bezel that's got the new movement that's GMT movement that's Meta certified. And I don't remember if he bought it on the bracelet, but he definitely switched it onto the other, like, you know, rubber strap option that's integrated, and he loves that look. And I admit, it looks pretty cool like that on a rubber strap as a sporty piece, something for summer. Now, this being only 30 meters of water resistance, it should be sufficient, but yeah, I would probably keep from any seriously heavy involved water activities, but I think you can get it wet. Even in the pool, and it shouldn't be a problem because I've worn my swatches, the vintage ones that I grew up on, many times in the swimming pool, diving, even in the hot tub, showers, all sorts of environments. And that also has only 30 meters of water resist. On top of that, it's all plastic case. Sure, it's all basically hermetically sealed, so there's no way to open it, except you still have a non-screw down crown as well as a battery hatch. Basically, those are the two metal components, at least on the outside. The rest is plastic. And, you know, and if that type of system on the crown and the battery port on that swatch can hold up to, you know, pretty, you know, I was not shy about diving in and just straight up swimming with the watch on, and never had any water ingress, you know, damage or anything. So I think this being a modern, you know, watch made now should be even just as, if not even more capable. Anyways, that's about it. It's getting late. I would like to size this, but I'm feeling tired still, and I don't want to kind of go back and forth trying to figure out, well, where's the perfect spot right now. I should be off work earlier tomorrow and the day after, so I'll probably get around to doing that sizing then, where my head is a little bit more cleared up, and I don't know, I don't feel as drained. And then I'll definitely start doing more videos on this, the Watch Your Strap-In series. Thanks for watching, and yep, enjoy your watches. I know I am.